Are you out of your damn mind?
In 1998, one film changed everything. Before the Marvel Cinematic Universe dominated theaters, before superheroes ruled Hollywood, there was a half-vampire warrior who walked the line between light and darkness. Blade didn't just slice through vampires, it carved out the blueprint for modern superhero cinema. But behind Wesley Snipes' leather coat and silver sword lies a story more explosive than any action sequence.
Some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill.
Welcome back to Pure Action Films. I'm about to reveal 20 details about Blade that will make you see this masterpiece in a completely different light. Some of these facts are so intense, they'll leave you thirstier for knowledge than a vampire in a blood bank. Let's begin. Detail number 1, the comic nobody wanted. Blade first appeared in Tomb of Dracula number 10 in 1973. But here's the kicker. Marvel considered him such a minor character that the film rights were practically given away. New Line Cinema acquired Blade for almost nothing because Marvel executives thought a half-vampire superhero would never work on screen. They were spectacularly wrong. Detail number 2, Wesley Snipes' obsession. Wesley Snipes didn't just want to play Blade, he was consumed by it. He spent 2 years training in martial arts specifically for this role, studying 17 different fighting disciplines. Snipes insisted on performing 90% of his own stunts, including sword work that would make samurai masters jealous. The man literally transformed himself into a weapon. Detail number 3, the rave scene that changed everything. That opening blood rave scene, it cost $1.2 million and took 6 weeks to shoot. Director Stephen Norrington wanted to create something cinema had never seen before, a nightclub where blood falls like rain from sprinkler systems. The fake blood was made from corn syrup and food coloring. Over 300 gallons were used in that single sequence. Actors were slipping and sliding so much that the crew had to constantly mop the floors between takes. Detail number 4, Stephen Dorff's transformation. Stephen Dorff, who played the villainous Deacon Frost, gained 25 pounds of muscle for the role. But the real transformation happened in his mouth. Those vampire fangs were custom-made by the same dental technician who created fangs for Anne Rice's Interview with the Vampire. Each set of fangs cost $800 and took 4 hours to properly fit. Detailed number 5, the sword that almost killed everyone. Blade's iconic sword wasn't just a prop, it was a fully functional weapon. The titanium blade was so sharp that insurance companies initially refused to cover the production. 3 stunt coordinators were required on set at all times whenever the sword appeared in scenes. Wesley Snipes accidentally cut himself twice during filming. Both times he refused medical attention and continued shooting.
They've been lying to us from day one. The Reaper strain didn't evolve. It was designed.
Detail number 6, Whistler's last-minute casting. Chris Christopherson wasn't the first choice for Whistler. The role was originally written for an actor in his 30s, a young, tech-savvy vampire hunter. But when Christopherson auditioned, he brought such gravitas and world-weary wisdom that the entire character was rewritten. Sometimes the best casting decisions happen by accident. Detail number 7, the budget that nobody believed in. New Line Cinema initially allocated just $12 million for Blade. When early test footage proved the film's potential, they doubled the budget to $24 million. By comparison, Batman and Robin, released a year earlier, cost $125 million. Blade proved that smart filmmaking beats big budgets every single time. Detail number 8. The makeup marathon. The vampire makeup effects required a team of 15 artists working 14-hour days. Each vampire transformation took 4 hours to apply and 2 hours to remove. The most complex makeup, Deacon Frost's final form, required 8 hours and used 67 individual prosthetic pieces. That's dedication to practical effects. Detail number 9. The Blood Bank Shootout. The blood bank sequence was filmed in an actual blood bank in Los Angeles. The facility was scheduled for demolition, so the production team could destroy everything without consequences. Over 40 gallons of fake blood were used, and the crew fired more than 3,000 blank rounds. The sound of gunfire was so realistic that police responded to noise complaints twice during filming. Detail number 10. Wesley Snipes' method approach. Snipes remained in character between takes, refusing to speak to actors playing vampires unless cameras were rolling. He believed that maintaining Blade's hostile attitude toward vampires would improve his performance authenticity. Some actors play roles. Wesley Snipes became Blade. Detailed number 11. The electronic music revolution. Blade's soundtrack was revolutionary. It was the first superhero film to feature primarily electronic and industrial music instead of traditional orchestral scores. The soundtrack sold over 2 million copies worldwide and influenced action film music for the next decade. This wasn't just a movie soundtrack, it was a cultural phenomenon. Detail number 12. The car chase nobody talks about. That brief but explosive car chase sequence required closing down 6 blocks of downtown Los Angeles for 3 consecutive nights. 12 cars were destroyed during filming, including 2 vintage Dodge Chargers that cost more than the entire makeup budget. Every crash was real, no CGI, pure destructive action. Detail number 13. The Glaive Weapons Master. The glaive weapons used by vampire guards were designed by renowned weapons expert Tony Swatton, who later became famous for his YouTube series Man at Arms. Each glaive was hand-forged and took 60 hours to complete. These weren't movie props, they were functional medieval weapons. Detail number 14. The Blood God Ritual. The climactic Blood God Ritual scene required 200 extras, each wearing contact lenses that cost $150 per pair. The ritual circle was painted with glow-in-the-dark paint mixed with actual theatrical blood for authenticity. The chanting heard during the ritual? It's actual Latin incantations from medieval vampire folklore. Detail number 15. The stunt that went too far. During the final fight between Blade and Frost, a stunt went wrong when Wesley Snipes was thrown through a glass partition. The glass was supposed to be breakaway sugar glass, but a section of real glass wasn't removed. Snipes suffered a cut that required 16 stitches. He finished the scene before seeking medical attention. Detailed number 16. The box office gamble. New Line Cinema executives were so uncertain about Blade's commercial potential that they scheduled its release for late August, traditionally a dumping ground for films studios don't believe in. Blade earned $131 million worldwide. proving that audiences were hungry for darker, more mature superhero content. Detail number 17. The sequel that changed everything. Before Blade was even released, Wesley Snipes had negotiated sequel rights and producer credits for any follow-up films. His contract included a clause giving him creative control over Blade's character development in future installments. Smart business move from a smart action star. Detail number 18. The practical effects revolution. 93% of Blade's effects were practical. Real explosions, real blood, real stunts. The few digital effects were used only for vampire disintegration sequences and muzzle flashes that couldn't be achieved safely with blanks. This was action filmmaking at its purest form. Detail number 19. The influence on Marvel. Blade's success directly led to Marvel taking their film properties seriously. Kevin Feige, future architect of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, worked as an assistant on Blade and learned crucial lessons about adapting comic book properties. Without Blade, there might never have been an Iron Man, an Avengers, or a Marvel Cinematic Universe. Detail number 20. The legacy that lives on. Blade proved that superhero films could be dark, violent, and successful. It paved the way for X-Men, Spider-Man, and every Marvel film that followed. But more than that, it proved that audiences were ready for complex anti-heroes who operated in moral gray areas. Blade didn't just hunt vampires, it hunted down Hollywood's preconceptions about what superhero movies could be. 20 details that prove Blade wasn't just a great action film, it was a revolution, wrapped in leather and armed with silver. This movie changed everything, from how action scenes were choreographed to how studios approached superhero properties. If these details left you hungry for more explosive action film breakdowns, smash that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. We've got more deep dives into the films that defined action cinema coming your way. Until next time, keep watching the shadows. You never know what legendary action film secrets are lurking there. This has been Pure Action Films. Stay lethal.